Do you have any idea how long we live? The older we get, the slower we age. Everyone you know and love will be gone before you even look 30.
We Saiyans evolved as a warrior race. We retain our youthfulness so we can fight longer.
Hi, it's Jax with Science Facts. Nerd time. Let's do this. Before we get started, I want to preface this by saying you're probably not going to be able to live thousands of years like a Viltrumite or look like you're in your 20s when you're in your 60s like a Saiyan or something like that. Okay, that's probably just not going to happen. Us humans haven't evolved to that yet. But what I'm about to do is give you some tips that can actually help you to look younger for longer and also help you feel stronger for longer and so that you age properly, just keeping in mind all these things. I went and asked all my friends who are athletes in their late 40s and late 30s because I remember talking to them in my 20s like, what do I have to prep for when I turn 30 and stuff like that. And I just was like, this would be a perfect video idea, so let's just get right into it. First thing first, keep your CNS safe, your central nervous system. We've talked about this many times before on how people will fry their central nervous system from overtraining. And that's the thing about it, is like, you want to be able to train like the Saiyans, you know? Like, there's some people where we just fall so in love with training, but we are training too hard too frequently, so we'll actually fatigue our central nervous system. And that can just lead to so many like dire effects that just are not good for the body in the long run if you keep doing it over and over and over. That's why so many people implement deload weeks, because they're just like, you know, overdoing it all the time, and it's just like completely frying their central nervous system. So what happens when that is, because we've talked about this numerous times before, I'll just talk about the things that affects this specific thing. One of the key things is if you fry your CNS too many times, it will affect with your sleep. And we all know how important sleep is, because sleep is where you regenerate, all right? If you're regenerating when you're sleeping, then your like muscles are growing, your body's secreting growth hormone, all these neurological and biological processes and physiological processes are happening to your body when you're sleeping. And if you constantly are just undersleeping because you're frying your CNS, that's not going to be good for the long run. And again, the way you fry your CNS is just like overtraining to the point where you're super stressful on your, you know, routines. Like you're just going balls to the wall. Now, there's nothing wrong with training hard. Like, I am not saying that. I am a big proponent of training hard and pushing yourself to the limits. But I do see that if you do it like, let's say Monday to Saturday, like over and over and over again, just clanging and banging, that can have a big effect on your body, and your body will just start to go like, I need some more rest time. I need some more rest, like that. So again, like, it's on you to just challenge yourself. So you shouldn't be trying to max out every single time you go to the gym. Like, you shouldn't be going to the gym like, you know, Monday I'm gonna max out on this, Tuesday I'm gonna max out on this, Wednesday I'm gonna max out on this, Thursday max out on this, Friday max out on this, Saturday max out on this, over and over and over again. Because eventually, if you can probably get away with this when you're younger, but when you get older and older, like, all of those just start to compound. And I even wouldn't recommend doing it when you're younger. Like, build up these habits now and you'll see the benefits of it, because this becomes such a thing that happens to so many people where they just constantly just keep clanging and banging just because they love, you know, lifting, they love training. But give your body rest. You get a lot more out of your muscles. As Goku even said in freaking Z, that the reason they rest is you can get a lot more out of your muscles. So do that, all right? That is very, very important, is making sure that you are resting enough and you are not over frying the CNS on a daily basis. And you can do this with like just heavy weight training or like heavy calisthenic work where you're just like really straining, like you're really pushing yourself and you're really just going after it. And that's not to say you should, like, you know, skimp on your workouts. You can still work out frequently if you like to. It's just like, try not to go always to the max in the regards, because it's just going to cause you a lot more pain in the long run if you're constantly doing that. So it's just something to keep in mind to prevent you from, you know, injuring yourself in the future, because everyone wants to live in the now, but they don't think of that, like, the future stuff. And that can just like be something that can save you for a long run. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you are doing your best. But another thing to go along with that is injuries. All right. So this is a thing that happens to so many people because, you know, after just lifting so heavy for so long or doing such strenuous work for like so many days in a row, like consistently, again, like if you're doing it like Monday to Saturday, like over strenuous work, and you're always like, oh, why does my joints hurt? Oh, why does my shoulder hurt? Oh, it's just part of my life now. Okay. Like that. No. Do not let that become your mindset, because when you get older and it's just harder for your body to like start moving as fluidly as you would like, it's going to be even worse. It's going to be one of those things where you go, oh damn, maybe I should have like like, you know, check that when I was younger, because this is the thing that happens to so many people. They will get an injury, either they get overuse injury, they tear something like that, or they'll, like, you know, do something, and depending on the severity of the injury, they will let their ego overcompensate for them, and so they will go, you know, this injury isn't that bad, I'm gonna keep training anyways. I could live through it. I'll just wrap it up. I ain't that bad, okay, like that. But there are proper rehab protocols to do. So for example, we don't have Senzu beans like freaking, you know, in Dragon Ball Z, like we can't recover like, you know, Goku and Vegeta can. And we don't have like Viltrumite anatomy, which you could just recover from, oh God. Damn. So we have to be smarter on how we go about recovering for ourselves. Because you know that when you get an injury, like, all right, it sucks. It sucks. Like, it happens to everyone. We all get them on, like, you know, various ways. It's just a part of life. You're gonna get injured and like doing various things. You're gonna get hurt doing various things. Let you know you're alive. So the thing about that is not to let that like short time like make something that could have been over in a couple weeks last a lifetime or last like a few months or something like that. So for example, I've talked about this so many times before. I injured my shoulder back in 2013. It's become a meme on my channel at this point of how badly I injured it. And I was like, had such an ego about myself. Like, I don't care. I'm just gonna like keep pushing through it, keep pushing through. And I did keep pushing through, and it got worse. And for years, I could not do any shoulder press. I could not do any like shoulder movement, whatever. And it wasn't until I found some ways to train around it that allowed me to rebuild my shoulders and get my delts back. But that was something that I just realized for myself that why I do so many mental health videos is because my ego got in the way of so many times when I had injuries. For example, when I injured my elbows from like overuse stuff like golfer's elbow and tennis elbow, I was just like, I don't care, I'm gonna keep working through this. And what could have ended up lasting about 3 weeks ended up lasting like 8 months. It was most of 2018. I was injured most of that year because I decided just to go through it. And you know, it's happened with other things too. And so that's why I'm a big proponent of mental health, because some people just have this like, you know, thing in their head that's like, I have to, I'm not worth anything unless I can train, and don't believe that. All right, slowly build yourself up and come back stronger. All right, this is you getting a Zenkai boost. All right, there are so many, look up inspirational athletes who like went through a thing where they couldn't you know, train for a bit, and then they come back and they just dominate. That will help you get that mindset of just like, okay, all these little exercises, I'm back at ground zero, now I'm building myself up. This is a perfect secure platform for me to build myself up from, and that is going to help you come back stronger than before. But if you just keep getting injuries and you just keep going, nah, I'm just gonna keep doing this and stuff like that, and then you do this whole thing, like, I highly recommend watching this video on like the overcompensation aspect of it, because it's not gonna help you in the long run. And when you're like, you know, in your later years, it's just gonna be like, fuck man, that hurts, oh god, why did I do that when I was a kid? Or you'll just be talking about like, oh yeah, my prime, I used to be able to. Yeah, don't be like one of those people. And no shade to those people, but I have a few friends like that, and I'm just like, bro, you were 35 years old and you still look great, shut up. So it's just stuff like that. But keep yourself safe, make sure you like rehab your injuries, take care of them, do whatever the process necessary depending on the severity of it. Of course, like, it's not going to be like all injuries are not the same, but like, you know, certain injuries can definitely be rehabbed better and get you back stronger than before. Just keep that in mind for yourself. Do not let your ego win. You are better than your ego. Next, let's talk about reading. Now, this is phenomenal for the brain and helping you to stay younger just by keeping it energized and learning new things. Like, your brain is always going to be a muscle that you have, and you want to keep it strong, you want to keep learning, you want to keep building up the neurons in it so that you can continually improve across life. That is going to do so much more for you. Some people think like, oh, reading's for nerds and stuff like that, and I don't know. But it's one of those situations where it just generally does help you so that you're like not becoming one of those old people who's like, oh, well, I don't know about that, or something like that, where they didn't focus on it, or like their, you know, their brain health started decreasing, stuff like that, because they weren't active, they weren't doing engaging content to challenge themselves mentally or something like that. Training your brain, doing all this sort of stuff, like hell, even meditation, which I've talked about so many times on my channel, like go click these links right here, that can help you so much just to build up your mental strength and help you to feel younger longer and help you to build yourself up while you're getting older, so you don't feel like you're like, you know, slipping. It doesn't feel like you're slipping because you're constantly learning, you're constantly improving, and this is you. Remember, like, you're a Krang piloting a bone mecha and stuff like that. And you know, it's just, you get the gist of what I'm saying. So remember, keep this strong and you will go super far. Never forget that. Reading is important. Next up, let's talk about flexibility and mobility, all right? Do more mobility work. I swear if you do more mobility work and more flexibility work, your injuries will start going down. You'll start noticing you get injured less. Like I am telling you right now, when I incorporated yoga into my routine, I have not been like, you know, severely injured for a long period of time just by doing it frequently. I like to do the DDP yoga or this yoga with Adrian, or I like to do a mobility work. There are so many follow along mobility drills, but this is just helping you keep everything nice and loosey-goosey, keeping the blood flow going all through your body, making sure everything is functional. You're not overly stiff. Like you're not gonna have one of those situations where when you try to bend down, you rip your back or something like that. Or like when you try to get off the ground, you like hurt your knee or you push your elbow out of a certain place because you're mobile. You've been moving it around, you're loosey-goosey. It improves your functionality, improves your elasticity throughout the body. And that is so, so important, especially as you get older. So if you're not doing flexibility or mobility work, it's just there to help you. And I know so many people are just like, I'm just in it to look like a freaking action figure and stuff like that. And then, yeah, it's cool, but don't you want to move like the action figure where like, you know, the fully posable ones? Or are you gonna be like, it's like, yeah, you look like an action figure, but look how stiff you are. Look how freaking like, this just looks uncomfortable to be in. It's just like, oh, I'm just so hard, I can't do this. But then like, look at this guy. He's big, he's mobile, he can do all this stuff. Loosey-goosey, make his arm do this, all right? You know, all that stuff. Probably hasn't had a shoulder injury in a long time because he's so flexible, can bend his knees, bend his hips, do all that jazz. That is going to help you out in the long run. Do not neglect your mobility training. I guarantee you, here's a challenge. Do flexibility, like do yoga or mobility stuff for 2 weeks. 2 weeks in a row. And see how you feel after doing it daily for 2 weeks in a row. I guarantee you will feel better. I guarantee 100% you will feel better. And why do you think Goku is always stretching all the time? All right, because he's a fighter and he has to be loosey-goosey. And then he's always like, oh, I'm just so happy and peppy because I got more energy because my body's getting all the blood flow everywhere it needs to go. So yeah, make sure you're doing more flexibility and mobility stuff. It'll do nothing but help you. And I've done full videos explaining why, so you can check those out after this. Next, let's talk about nutrition, because nutrition is so important. As we've talked about many times before on this channel, like if you have good nutrition, you not only will you feel better, move better, and just have more energy, but like you're just gonna look better too, because your foods make up your body. Like every day your body, I think it's like every 30 days or something. I'll have it on the screen right now, like how it works. But like when you like eat foods, digest foods, they are able to make up what you are. They make up your body. So making sure you get all the good stuff in, like, you know, if you're a kid, plenty of fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. If you're an adult, plenty of fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. You know, getting enough protein in. It doesn't have to be animal sources. It could be from any sources. Just making sure you're getting enough on a daily basis for your muscle mass, and making sure that you are taking care of yourself, drinking enough water, okay? Again, like I recommend doing a gallon of water every single day. Like I talked about, get those 32-ounce cups, which I mentioned, which will allow you to drink just 4 32-ounce cups equals 1 gallon of water. And then it's just easy. You don't have to look at like a big gallon so you don't get overwhelmed. You can just drink 4 of those a day and it do nothing much, like as I explained in this video right here, the importance of drinking water and how much it helps not only your skin but your muscle mass and helping you with weight loss and all that jazz. So it has so many myriad benefits of doing this. So if you're eating too much, you know, like sugar and candy and soda and grease and all that stuff on a daily basis, then of course it's going to have a negative effect on you and can actually give some people some premature aging lines. Like there are so many people I see where I'm like, dude, like you're like how old? Like 25, and you look like, you know, like, and not trying to diss or anything like that. It's just something I've noticed where it's just like, there was someone I thought was like 36 and then they were 25 and I was just like, oh, okay. Because like, you know, they smoke, they drank, they ate, all this stuff. And there's nothing wrong with doing certain things in moderation. Again, your life is short. Like you're only on this planet for 100 years. We ain't like Viltrumite yet, sadly. But like, if you have like, you know, certain things that you enjoy doing in moderation, that is completely fine. The problem is when it becomes like overdone. Like, so if you're eating like, you know, McDonald's every single day, then like, yeah, that's probably not gonna do good for you. If you're eating like, you know, Pizza Hut every single day, or like, you know, a ton of greasy, sugary, like fatty foods that are just unhealthy for you and gonna clog your arteries. And I actually talked in depth about how to see if your diet is helping you or hurting you in this video right here. So go check that after this if you really want to get that Viltrumite Saiyan DNA look for yourself. But it is such a thing that happens to people where we just eat whatever, and it like does have a profound effect on how we look and how we feel. Also, a bonus, make sure you're getting like I guess not for the vegetarians and vegans out there, but like, you know, for them, they can use a supplement. But, you know, bone broth is a great way to get excess collagen, and collagen is what gives your skin its elasticity. So, you know, like roofy and stuff like that. So it makes you actually appear younger as well, because your skin, as you get older, will start to get tighter and more wrinkly. And this is just a way to circumvent that. But, you know, you can get like collagen supplements and stuff like that. See how they work for you. I'm not gonna like say whatever. I'm just saying like, you know, that's a good, simple way to do it. But again, tons of like fibrous, healthy fruits and vegetables on a daily basis that'll help you, and tons of like, you know, water on a daily basis, and making sure you're getting enough protein from various sources. But again, I talked about that in depth in this video, and that will help you to get, you know, a Saiyan and Viltrumite look. Because remember, like Saiyans eat a lot. Saiyans eat a lot of like, you know, nutrition. Should I do a video on like a Saiyan diet? My brain just glitched. Like, should I do? I think that'd be funny. Like, you know, talk about. Nah, did I do that already? I did this video. Huh, okay, well, whatever. Like, also, before I forget, the key thing is the dosage of the food you're eating. So for example, if you're eating like, you know, a 400 or 500 calories of like, let's say junk food, but then the rest of the calories, like 85% of your calories are healthy, nutritious foods that do nothing but help your body and build it back up, then yeah, that's going to do, you know, good. Like that's why people follow an 85-15 diet, where it's like 85% healthy, nutritious stuff, which benefits you. And then 15% is just like fun, like, oh, a cupcake or, you know, a couple cookies, something like that. So just find the way. I talk about it in depth in that, nutrition video, which you can see in the card right there. But keep that in mind for yourself. It's going to help you age better. It's going to help you feel better, and you're going to feel so much stronger when you get through with it. Next thing, do more cardio. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Like, your heart and lungs are so much more important than the vanity muscles. All right. So if you really have to focus on your heart and lungs, and then build the vanity muscles like as armor around them and stuff like that. But never neglect your heart and lungs. Like, so many people are just like neglecting doing the cardio. And again, like, there are various ways to do cardio, stuff like that, as I talked about in this video right here. But you want to just do that sort of thing. Like, there are various ways you can, like, you know, experience it, as I talked about in this video too. Again, I got a ton of stuff on this channel, so you might as well subscribe, hit that bell icon too. But it is so important to just, you know, get those heart and lungs moving, build up your VO2 max, do things a variety of ways, because it's going to help you live longer and also be more energetic. Because Ken, activity promotes productivity, which will allow you to get more energy, which will allow you just to want to be more active and do stuff throughout the day. Because a common thing that happens to people is they will like just veg out and watch TV or play video games, stuff like that. And again, I love watching Netflix, I love watching anime, I love playing video games on my spare time, okay? But I realize if you do that majority of the day, it can start to drain your energy super fast, like as a battery. Because as I've talked about before, think about us as humans, all right? We're constantly sitting down, and that does nothing but drain the energy within us. Because think about it like this: you wake up from bed, which you probably slept like, you know, 8 hours, which is healthy, really good. And again, more sleep equals just better like health overall, so get as much sleep as possible. But you wake up, and then if you're an average person, you sit down, you have breakfast, and then you get in your car, drive to work, drive wherever, you know, probably however long that is. You sit down, you drive there, you sit down at the place you're at, unless it's like an active place where you're on your feet most of the day, which is good. That's actually really good. So if you have like a job where you're on your feet most of the time, that is actually a blessing in disguise. And then you sit down when you come home, because you're at work most of the day, and then you're just, you know, like, oh, I'm just scrolling TV, I'm just playing video games, something like that, because it was just so stressful. But if you're constantly sitting like majority of the day, you notice that you were just tired. You notice that you just feel tired majority of the day, and you do not want that. You want to be energetic like freaking Vegeta and Omni Man, right? Or like, you know, and better would be Mark, but you know, Omni Man has the mustaches, that's why I draw him. But again, you want to have that type of energy where it's just like, oh, I can just, you know, keep going for hours and hours and hours. Though Omni Man does have freaking a lot of energy with his pet, if you know what I mean. So that is something to keep in mind. Stop being so inactive. Try doing things like more. I gave a whole video on how to find various ways that you can, like, you know, try things out that aren't boring, that aren't monotonous, that aren't just like, you know, oh, this exercise, it just feels like I'm just doing exercise, I'm lifting something up, I'm putting it down. You can find various ways to keep yourself active and keep your heart and lungs safe, because so many people neglect their heart and lung endurance. Again, it is so imperatively important. So get your cardio in. It will do nothing but help you, make you live longer, make you last longer, make you feel like you look, it will make you look younger if, like, you're doing a lot of it, like, consistently. You'll, like, there are so many people where you see, like, who are healthy and are consistently healthy, and it's just like, wow, dude, you know, you look phenomenal. And it's just, you know, all these different things they put together. So keep in mind, it just does nothing but help you and make your life better. Following that, let's talk about fasting real quick. Says fasting does have some cool things that it does for you if you are doing it. So for example, there are a lot of people who do like Ramadan and stuff like that, and intermittent fasting has become such a big thing. Like, I think I love intermittent fasting the most because I've been doing intermittent fasting on and off since 2012, just because it's very convenient for helping me with my appetite, because I have like a very ravenous appetite. So when I do intermittent fasting, it's more like, oh, I can like just, if I'm in an hour that's regimented, I'm able to just hyper focus and get all my food in, and it makes me just feel great. But did you know that with intermittent fasting, or with fasting in general, if you do it long enough, like about like 24 hours, like if you're just drinking water, like do a 24-hour like water fast, cellular autophagy will begin. And that is when cells start to regenerate in your body. They start to discard like your old cells, damaged cells and stuff like that, and start bringing in new ones. And then they will, you know, make you appear younger. They'll make you feel better. You'll just have all these little things going on about you, as I've talked about before. I think I did a fasting video a while ago. If I haven't, I'm gonna do a full in-depth one. But yeah, it's a cool thing about fasting. Now again, I want to make this perfectly clear, because there are kids watching this too, probably, and well, yeah, they are. If you're a kid doing this, again, I don't recommend doing intermittent fasting. I recommend just, you know, being more active, eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, and, you know, just like, you know, taking care of yourself. Like, this is the time of year, the time of your life where you're just being more active, and doing so many variety of things will just help you. Like, you shouldn't really be focusing on like doing this sort of thing. But I do understand that Ramadan is a thing for quite a few people, where they do fasting for, I believe, religious purposes, not that, religious reasons, and you know, they're completely fine, respect to it. Again, just make sure you're getting enough water in, tons of water. Like, I would never tell anyone to just fast where you don't do anything like that. That's so stupid. So, you know, just get your water in. If you've ever done a 24-hour fast, I've done a 24-hour fast like, I want to say 4 times, and every time I do it, like, I can think most of the day it feels like, oh god, this is hell, why am I doing this? But then when I get to like 4 hours, like I think like hour 20 of the fasting, I feel like hunger just doesn't bother me, and I'm just like, huh, I think I can do this longer, I think I can do this really good. And then like I just, you know, been drinking water, like, you know, get my electrolytes in, so like I'm not dehydrated or I'm not getting a headache. And I feel like it's a very enlightening experience. I don't know how to explain it like fully, but it just feels like, huh, wow, I feel different, I feel energized. Like, it's like around hour 20 for me. But again, that is different for everybody, because all bodies are different. As I always say, every body is different and reacts differently. So again, if you want to ever attempt that, try it. Drink your water, make sure you have your electrolytes and stuff like that, stay safe. But I'm just throwing it out there. It's just a cool little thing you can try for yourself, and then you'll learn more about that in my fasting video when I do that for a certain character. But next, I want to finish this off with the most important thing about how to get to Viltrumite Saiyan body is fuck what society thinks. Real talk, do you know how many people will not do something because they will think, oh, I'm too old to do it? Now, I want to make this perfectly clear. I understand from a looking perspective of, okay, if grandpa did this, they would get injured and have to go to the hospital, and then that's just a lot of hospital work or something like that. That's understandable, I can get that. But if it's one of those situations where someone really wants to try something new, and then like their coach has given them all the, you know, precautions and stuff like that about how to do this, but stay safe for the person's age if they want to do it, then by all means, they should try it. And people who put them down, it's like, it says more about the person putting them down than them, because this person is trying to elevate themselves to feel better, and this person is trying to bring them down to make themselves feel better about themselves. And so that just kind of comes off like, okay, so you're insecure and overcompensating, and you're trying to mask it with like trying to be realistic, but realistically you just don't want to see this person succeed in something that they're like trying to become passionate at. Like, there are people out there who are like, I don't want to do gymnastics, I'm too old. And it's like, there are adult gymnastics class where you can learn the stuff, like where you can do it. You don't have to be around like a bunch of like kids and shit like that, kids and teenagers. You can do that for yourself. If you want to learn how to skateboard, you can do that. There are places you can learn how to do it. It's just you have to be more precautious, and if you do get injured, you have to do what I said earlier, where you make sure you rehab that thing fully. So it's just on you. Now again, there are some things where it's like, oh, I want to be a world champion at like fighting and stuff like that. That is a lot harder to ever accomplish, especially when you're older, because you have to do that. But that doesn't mean you can't, you know, do martial arts. It doesn't mean you can't do boxing. It doesn't mean you can't learn this stuff. Like, you can definitely learn this stuff at any age. So when you like talk about like, oh, I want to compete and do all this stuff and fight like this, while it is more challenging, it is doable. Like, you can still do it. It's just a lot more challenging, and you have to pick up things like that. Like, you have to do certain things, you have to put in the work, you have to do all that extra stuff, because like, I mean, freaking Idris Elba like had his first fight and like won because he like tried and stuff like that, and he actually did put in the work, and I was like, oh damn, respect to him. But it has to be like your passion. You have to really want it. You have to go for it. So never give up on yourself and your dreams. That's a beautiful thing about, like, you know, Viltrumite saying stuff like that. It's just like the longevity of just being able to keep doing things you love for longer periods. And that's what I want to do with this video today, is show you a myriad of ways you can do to improve yourself so you can keep doing the things you love for a myriad of ways, and how to keep yourself from getting, you know, injured and looking your best, you know, doing all that stuff. You know, take care of yourself. Again, I have tons of videos on this channel on how to do that, but I want to make that perfectly clear. Forget what society thinks, all right? Do not worry about what the opinion of other people, all right? You should be focused on yourself, because they're not in your life. Like, there are so many people who will come into your life and say you can't do this, and then like, you know, lo and behold, you accomplish it, and it's like, are they even in your life anymore? Like, I thought about that. Like, there was this time I was like working, and someone told me to give up on doing like, you know, YouTube stuff because it's just a stupid thing, and then like, lo and behold, here I am today, like, you know, is made one of my jobs. And it's just like, yeah, I'm so glad I didn't listen to that person, because they were projecting their weakness onto me. No, I'm never going to do that ever again, and I will always encourage those who are watching this to do their best. So remember that for yourself. You got this. I believe in you. Well, dudes and dudettes, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you learned something. I hope you were able to get some of that freaking Viltrumite Saiyan DNA that one day we can hopefully achieve for ourselves scientifically, but we're not there yet, so this is the best we can do. But if you made it this far in the video, type in Vegemite down below, because it's like, it's an Australian thing of Vegemite, but also Vegeta, Saiyan, and then Viltrumite, Mite. So yeah, there you go, Vegemite. So if you made this far in the video, type in Vegemite. It lets me know who stayed this far, and let me know what your goals are for the future, and what are something that you tried when you were older. I love getting those type of discussions, because it actually inspires a ton of people who would never actually pick up something like in later years. So go ahead, share all those down below. It'll do nothing but help people out. Couple updates. We're still working on the Mega Spider-Man video, just like my Mega TMNT video, so we're going to premiere for that. Again, it's going to take a lot of work, so I just hope everyone checks in when it's finally done. Tough Like the Tunes is being worked on, because I just got my, if you saw my community tab, you know what it is, because I couldn't resist filming in it, because I got it, and I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome, so you're definitely going to want to check that out. And then, excuse me, sorry, I have a Would That Work Out coming on a certain Demon Slayer character, which you will have to see, so definitely check those out. And then of course I'll save another character, I'll save that one for March later on, but I just wanted to say that. Thank you all for watching. Hope this video was educational and helped you. Remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget, Momentai. Hope you have a great day.